My name is Zach Pratt. I'm from Alabama, from a city very near Tuscaloosa, and I work in Tuscaloosa. I do marketing at Randall Riley, and this is my wife, Allison. She'll introduce herself.
My name's Allison Pratt, and I'm originally from Tuscaloosa.
Last year, we taught English in China. We lived in Xining, Shanghai. We went there to teach English and to help a team of teachers also come to Xining. So when we arrived last year, it was only us two. And when we left, there were 7 more people. And because Northwest China does not have many opportunities to have English teachers, right? Many English teachers will go to Beijing or Shanghai. And so Northwest China teachers wants to help Northwest China have quality teachers. The first time I learned about it, I was actually in China. And so I saw them teaching on campus. I saw them working with the students, and I thought, this is great. I think many students in Beijing and in Shanghai, they have so many opportunities to practice their English. And in Xi'an and in Baoji and in Lanzhou and Xining, all the cities that we went to, there's not many opportunities. There's not many English speakers. And so I thought it was such a great opportunity because we would be the few English speakers in these cities. So it was a little scary, but I thought that it would be very fun.
Yeah. It was really great, like all the different grades. The kids would start at the very first level. If they were interested, they would come, and the headmaster of the school would give them a little quiz to see where they're, what level they were on. And if they were sort of at that first level, they'd put them there. And that was usually first grade, second grade, third grade. And then they would move up each semester to the next level. And so we had kids that were 7 years old, and we had kids that were 13 years old. There were some kids that didn't want to be there because this was a school that they went to when they weren't in their other schools. So either they were there on the weekends or it was during the winter break or summer break. And they were going every day. So some of these kids didn't want to be there. They wanted to be at home playing. But I would say the majority of them were very excited to be in school, and they were very excited to have a native English speaker there.
Some of the older students.
Yeah.
But most of the students were learning English really for the first time.
Yeah.
So they would say, teacher, teacher, 老师, 老师, 这是什么? What is this?
Yeah.
And that was their favorite question. Some students had behavior problems. They were naughty in class. They would not obey. But then there were also in Shanghai, there's many minorities.
All right.
Yeah, and so sometimes you would see maybe a student that looked like a different nationality. They might sit in the corner by themselves, and maybe they wouldn't sit in the front. And I know in Shanghai, many of the Muslim students don't go to school, because they just work in the family restaurant. So sometimes we saw students, or maybe we saw children that wanted to practice English in the restaurants. They would try to talk to us, but I know that they could not come to our school because maybe their family wouldn't let them. But overall, the students were really good.
The thing that we did most of was helping them to correctly pronounce words and to use them correctly. Rather than teaching them grammar or something like that, our job was mostly usage. And so there was a lot of repeating. They would repeat us, say things correctly. We didn't really know what to expect when we first started teaching, because it was a very laid-back atmosphere, and no one really explained to us, this is how you should do it. We were just given the material and just told to wing it, basically. So we didn't really know what to expect, but we began to understand that we needed to have a lot of activities planned, because these kids were so active and they had so much energy, and we could only keep their attention on something for only a few minutes, so we would need to change it up a little bit. And so we did have to do quite a few things.
I think the biggest difference is the number of students.
Yeah.
Just like China and America, there are so many more people in China than America.
Right.
So there are so many more students in the classroom in China than in America.
Mm-hmm.
In our elementary schools, maybe 20 students is a lot
Mm-hmm.
for one teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in China, we sometimes have 40 or 50 students.
Right.
So many more students. And the second thing is I think the student only expects, one, I should repeat the teacher, or two, I should not listen to the teacher and sit still. That's the only two options. I should do what they say or ignore them. Very disciplined, or I will do nothing. I will just sit here. Some students had creativity and ambition and initiative, and they wanted to speak up and learn and play in all the games. But they weren't given as many opportunities, maybe. Yeah. In America, in elementary schools, we have many activities.
Mm-hmm.
We take trips. There is a time to take a nap. There's maybe 2 or 3 times to eat.
And really, even right from the beginning, they have a lot of pressure. I don't think that in America, there are probably some children that experience pressure. Maybe they go to a charter school or something special. But for the most children, they don't feel any kind of pressure in elementary school.
Elementary school should be fun.
Yeah, maybe it starts in middle school. Definitely starts in high school. It definitely comes by high school. But in China, in the very beginning, in elementary school, there was a lot of pressure on these kids. And I felt like that was one of the biggest differences.
The Chinese students memorize things very well.
Someone explained it to me this way, that there are so many more people in China, so there's lots more competition. But it is putting a lot of stress on children.
We love China. I mean, I really want to go again. I don't know for how many years, but if I stayed there all of my life, that's okay. 我爱中国, I love China.